Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and it is time to start on a new adventure. So I ran a poll since last Saturday when when some other stuff ended because Saturday's kind of an empty slot, and I've been looking for a show to put on it. And to my surprise, maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but I was surprised. Of the shows that I put on the slot, there were a lot of things that I know are probably really good. But I also happened to throw Spice and Wolf on that slot, and it won by a landslide, like double the votes of anything else. It wasn't even close. So, we're watching Spice and Wolf, or Pepper and Dog, or Pepper and Doge, or Paprika and Puppy, or whatever you want to call it. It's Spice and Wolf. This is an older show from 2009. I didn't actually look at that. Season 1, 2008, and then Season 2 was 2009. Okay. Bit of an older show. This is a show by Studio Imagine, a studio that has been inactive pretty much since 2009, although they do have some credits on, like, assistance for a couple of Madhouse shows later, but I have never seen a show that they've worked on, not one. So, no opinion of the studio going forward. Spice and Wolf, as far as I can tell, is by far their most highly regarded show. A lot of the others seem like they're kind of popcorny stuff. So no opinion on the studio. It is a light novel adaptation. No opinion on the light novel or the author, who has mostly only written this and a couple of other things that seem to deal with, be fantasy stories that deal with economics, which, from what I know about Spice and Wolf, is what we're dealing with here. And it is directed by one Takeo Takahashi, who has directed a number of things, and I have never seen any of them. So, really, we're about as blind as we could be going in. I do know some things. I know that there's a romance element. I know that there's a starting a shop type of element, and a trade and economics type of element. I also know that, according to a lot of people, Hullo, the wolf girl, is like the best waifu ever, or one of them, or in the tippy top tier. So that's pretty cool. We'll see how we feel about it, but cool. I think she's a god? I'm not sure. I think she's a deity of some kind. In any case, I don't really know much going in, but a lot of people want me to watch this, and a lot of people want me to watch this over some other things that have got a lot of traction in the Discord and things that people talk about often. So I'm a bit excited to get started with this show. I don't know how many episodes we're going to watch right now. It might be just the first. Depends on how much discussion we can pull out of it. But it'll be one or two episodes. We'll see. You already know this because it'll be in the title and you'll see the length of the video. What else? Housekeeping. Yeah, okay. So if this is the first series of mine that you've watched, there will be, every time that this comes out on YouTube, there will be the next video up on Patreon for early access people, within 24 hours-ish. Yeah, that'll be a thing that happens. And so if you want that a little bit earlier, you can go and get it. I don't normally do these shoutouts, but for the first episodes of series, might as well, just so that you know what you're dealing with. And if you want access to the Discord, you can also get that via Patreon for as little as $1 to chat about things and stuff and things. Version. I went ahead and, without any input from other people, I went ahead and downloaded the Nep Blanc version of Spice and Wolf Season 1. If that was a bad decision, let me know as soon as possible, and I'll switch it out. But it seems to be well regarded and has a lot of seeds on Nya, so I grabbed it, and that's the version that we're going to use, at least for this first video, until somebody tells me not to do that. So let me know what you think of the subs and general stuff, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump on in. So there will be two versions of this reaction video. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you want to sync up your own copy of Spice and Wolf Episode 1 with the timer-based version up on YouTube, you are more than welcome to do so. Timer-based version will have discussion at the end, picture-in-picture version will not, so mix and match as you see fit to get the content that you want. And if you do want to sync up, get your copy ready, because the beep beep timer, which will go boop 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 beep, and on the beep and the green light will be the same frame that the video starts playing on my screen, so if you want to play it on your screen, that's probably when you want to hit the button. Yeah, get it ready because that timer is coming at you right now. Bright white. Okay. Let's do it. Ooh, soft. First thing that stands out is the quality of the character designs. Not highly detailed, but extremely readable. And given the time that this was coming out, they feel Chihayafuru-esque to me in a way, but a little bit sharper. Whoa. There's a somberness to this OP. Just packed with emotion. Let's seek what lies ahead. Okay. Spicy Wolf. The background art is really nice. Soka. Also, the voice actress for Hollow is Ryuko Matoi, which is interesting. So, Wolf Worship. Less value in deities of the land. The promise. I wonder, will every episode be Wolf and... Oh, pelts. Trade. Ooh. Wolf worshippers. Okay. Where are we set? And what time period? Hmm. Hmm. I'm probably gonna need notes. Fading belief in spirits of the land. How so? become the hollow? Okay, so she's the redhead. She is really cute. Interesting cut. And what was that sound? Ow! Mm? Oh. Yeah, she's way cute. Hmm. Hmm. So a change in power. Hmm. We own gold, trendy, silver, old. What was it? Loot? Silver? Like the way they're doing Moonlight. So, how will the wolf girl appear? Or is she already here? She is already here. She appears in his cart. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Uh-huh. What a fantastic character design. Fangs. Hello. An offering. The eyes with the ridges in them. Got a little piece of jerky on the floor. Ah. Yeah, reasonable. Why take this form? You're talking to her. Hmm. Hmm. That talent becomes useful in business. Uh-huh. Oh. Back into the furs. Gotta get you some clothing, girl. Talent for evaluating people. Good. Because it's big and scary. There's a little bit of Matoi coming through. It's a fair question. Do you? Oh. Yeah, we'll go with that. Yikes. Not fun to transform, eh? Giant wolf. Oh, we don't get to see it, do we? Or do we? And she's gone. I don't know about that. she's so into him. Oh. His dream, right? All right. Mm-hmm. This is true. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Uh-huh. Yep. Just like, oh. 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 Not quite. Yeah, we'll go with that. What prevents a deity from feeling? So she will return now? Wanna bet? Hey, hello. We gotta get you some clothes. Hmm. So the wheat that you brought, she can travel with. You brought the key. Uh-huh. Just the claw, eh? Of course you fear me. Hmm. Hmm. There must be balance. There must be an exchange. Fantastic VA work. Merchant. Is that the Earl? You're looking for a wife? Oh, close? Where did you get clothes? Oh. Well, that's awesome. Oh. How did they fit you? She's good at evaluating people, though. She understands you. Kraft Lawrence. The deal is made. Toriki. Mm-hmm. This is weird. Or a big wolf. Okay. Oh, that's so 2009. Actually, since I just said it, the whole thing is so 2009. It's a blast from the past, if you will, and an interesting one. Starting a first episode with the OP. Lots of interesting elements in this OP. But I think the most interesting one is the song itself. It's got like a the lyrics speak of moving toward the future, but the 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 melody is somber. Uh, it's nostalgic in more ways than one, reminiscing. So we open with the story of Hollow the Wolf, the deity. There was nothing aside from warmth. Ah, and then we echo this promise that was made in Craft and Hollow's promise. We echo the tradition and the worship, but she is a spurned god, as it always it is with gods and leaders and merchants. When things go well, you praise, and when things go poorly, you blame. But even one of the first like things that she says about herself, it's not one of the first, but I mean, in the context of the whole series, it is that the land can't can't deal with a good harvest every year. It takes too much from the soil. Already, and I know that there's an economic element to the story, but already there's a give and take there from the land, from the soil, an understanding of balance, which is interesting. The production is interesting here as well because it is also of the time for certain. It's a great looking horse in the close-ups. There's a distinct lack of animation or a distinct abundance of corner cutting in the animation almost everywhere except where the girls are concerned occasionally. We see this bit of the festival. It has vibes that actually remind me of Utena more than anything. It's interesting. But the standout element of the show so far is that the writing is clever, the dialogue writing is clever and snappy, but delivered in these soft, almost real tones. It's very nice, very easy to listen to. Same with the music. It's just sort of lilting and soft and easy to listen to. But it's the character designs and the backgrounds that stand out to me. The character design of Craft is extremely strong, partly because of its simplicity. The little bit of chin scruff, the shock of white hair. But it's Hollow's design that stands out. You can see the lack of animation here. Although this is kind of on ones, which is interesting. But it's a little bit jerky. It's a little bit off. But it doesn't matter because we're meeting her. The certain elements of the character design stand out from a modern perspective. The very pointed chins are part of what reminds me of Utena. She has the deep brown red of her eyes is really piercing and really interesting. We get a shot just a little bit later that's a close up of one of her eyes, and I found it really intriguing as well. There. I'm always interested in the internal designs of eyes because, well, if you're animating eyes, you've gotta have elements there that allow you to emote with them, allow you to express with them. And these are rather unique. We've got the standard light dots, but there are a couple more than usual, almost Hibike-esque. But those aren't there in Craft's eyes, I don't think. And then this sort of ridged half moon at the bottom is very interesting. It's just an interesting way to construct an anime eye. Same with the shadow underneath here. And the shadow here. The pointed nose, the thin eyebrows, bangs, twin, and then the ears that just sort of emerge from her hair. It's a really, really fantastically strong character design. So we see those are like piercing eyes, and these are less so. The ridges on the arc are gone. The shadows are all still there. There's a lot of detail in the eyes, and that's not necessarily present in the rest of the character design, and it shows what the priorities are a little bit. There's a priority on the emotion of the eyes for Hollow. There's something else that's interesting here, and it's more from my perspective than anything else, but we introduce a character who is nude. She arrives on the scene nude, but in no way do I feel like we're sexualizing her. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's very attractive as a character design, as a body, as a physique, but it's not sexual in the same way that you wouldn't sexualize a wolf. Well, you might if you have certain inclinations, but there's like a a primal elegance to her that's weird, and it's in the way that she moves and in the way that she is revealed. And I mean literally revealed. She is nude, but we don't look at her in that way. It's interesting. The most sexualized scene in the episode is is here when Chloe is intentionally putting herself on display. Right there. And here we focus on breasts and legs. That is the most sexual this episode gets. Hollow, never, though she is unclothed throughout. That's interesting. That takes some skill to pull off. And it's not in a way that I've necessarily that I can think of seeing before. I think a part of it is because aside from the scene where she reaches down to get the food, aside from the scene where she reaches down to get the food and yeah, and he's abashed because but it's not sexualized, partly because the tail covers it. Aside from that scene, Kraft never treats her as an object. He's just stoic about it, which is interesting. And he's also standoffish because she's like, the fuck are you? What are you? But it's the character designs that stand out the most. The character designs in the writing, the dialogue writing, and the sort of the realness of it. Kraft shows himself as being, he's a smart man with a mind for business, not so much able to read people. Like it took until the moment when she laid out on the straw for him to realize that Chloe was essentially propositioning him. When we, or I as an audience member, picked up on it immediately. It was like, oh, she's super into him. He's a little bit of a doofus in that sense. And that creates a perfect pairing with Hollow. As business partners, but also as, I would assume, romance interests. This is an interesting first episode. I love the way that they did the glowing moonlight off of the lake. It's really nice. A nice gag here. Some gorgeous scenery, not hyper detailed, but fairy tale-esque in a way. The lighting on the faces is really solid. The way she plays with her hair while she's talking to him. A classic tell. And he finally realizes, and then turns her down, and begins to talk about Hollow. This is a great reveal. We see the bed empty. Cut to the lantern, empty. We show the entire bed empty. And then he lays back after saying there's no way she really exists. And she's there. Whew. So the wheat that he brought allows her to leave. Does that mean that the wheat is what ties her to his cart and allows her to continue moving? If so, that could be an important plot point. Okay, I think that's a wrap for the first episode. But I want to watch another, so we're gonna watch another. So, I'm gonna take a moment, grab some more tea, and run a sinky thing So I'll cut here, and I will see you for Spice and Wolf season 1 episode 2 in just a moment. All right, we are ready to go for episode 2 of Spice and Wolf. Let's do it. Beep beep timer if you're using the timer based version. Wonder if that's family of crafts. Chloe. And they travel. And a great dark wolf. Really beautiful, but hauntingly. So I'm expecting that we get like the beginning of what this series actually consists of. Indeed you are. Hmm. Bug? Ah. The little tufts on the ends of her ears are great. Well, rain is incoming. Wolf and distant past. Whose? Well, there's the change. Well, that's helpful. Hmm. Oh, that code's gonna fall. Wow, that was definitely done. Yeah, it's just a little bit of scruff. Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. I don't see. Marten furs are nice. Hmm. Credit. Wife nodding off. Smart. Mm-hmm. Will do. A little bit. Wakey wakey. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. Monsters. I don't entirely trust this person. Hmm. Huh? Oh. What a line. Uh-huh. Something like that. Sure. I don't trust him at all. What does Hollow think? With her ability to read people. Ooh, that sounds good. What? Hold it. Nice. Ooh. She'll work it off. Aw. Oh. Little pop. Mm. Mm-hmm. More like vibes. Another flea. I'm gonna believe in the god's ability. Yeah. Hmm. Zarin. Zarin. Well, you're a god, so. The story that we didn't hear. And now we do. Cool. And then melt them. Hmm. Yeah, shady as fuck. He just wants your profits. Quick way to make money. The reason. Quite a few. Hmm. Agreeable. Hundreds, thousands. Poof. Where'd she go? Hmm? What are you up to, Hollow? Huh? The church. Hmm. How irreverent. Wow. Yeah, but wholesome head pats are the bomb diggity. She is a wonderful weirdo. Mm. Mm. Your end? Hmm. Mm. Alright, thanks, Jaren. Zaren, whatever. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Basic economics and foundation of society. Trade time for something later. They live as part of the land. That is a gorgeous background. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The banter begins. Yike. How many heads have you eaten? Mm-hmm. Distant, distant past. Too far. Who did he lose? Hmm. Fade to black and hard cut. Nice. Okay then. Wow. Chastised instantly. She is a beast of the land. Must protect that smile. This has grown on me a little bit. Hmm. Such a throwback to have the two main characters say the title of the next episode at the end. Such a throwback. Almost every show had that at that time. It's so interesting. It's the little things that you forget that trigger nostalgia. So, an interesting episode. I suppose this is probably how it's going to be from here. Vignettes of business encounters interspersed with traveling and banter and discussion that ranges from personal things to philosophy to basic economics. I think the standout thing of the episode was the line that Hollow says to whatever. Um, when he asks to see her. Must have been divine will. Is it? Yeah, here. Would you let me take a look at her? And she says a few different things, all of them interrelated. And then she speaks up. A trip is most fun before one sets out. Dog is most frightening when he barks. That one, I don't know if it fits. And women look the prettiest when viewed from behind. In this case, it's the imagination is as much or more fun than the reality, or more interesting, or more attractive. Be careful about tearing the veil away in search of knowing when you might not want to know. Sometimes you're better off just imagining. I could not do something like that to you. Damn, Hollow. Damn, Hollow, that was some shit. Woo! Okay. Okay. Wow. She continues to be really fascinating. As a deity portrayed in fiction taking human form should be, you know? There's so much there, and it takes wisdom to write a character with wisdom. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. It speaks to the skill of the author. Interesting. And we're beginning to ease into the economics and the trade, but also the more the more interpersonal elements of trade and business in general. The trust. There are so many lessons in this episode. One of them is when he's speaking with the Lord of the Manor or whatever it is. When he's speaking with him, and then when he speaks to Zeren, don't remember, about it. Zeren is like, oh, I could have never gone and talked to them. But the only reason that Kraft is able to go and talk to them is because he chooses to. At least that's what we're given, and that's what I'm inferring. Just because he's unafraid. And he turns to him and says, even still, many of the peddlers and merchants that I know are bakemono to me. They're monsters to me. They're beyond me. But it's all about perspective on yourself. You know? Like, this is applicable in any time and any place. If you want a job, you can go and talk to the person at the top and be like, give job. Give job. If you want to make a deal, you can go and talk to the person who you think is out of your league in a business sense. It just takes that perspective. Interesting. So we fashion a pouch of wheat for Hollow, which will keep her safe. And she does state what I was wondering about in the last episode, which is that if the wheat is eaten or ground or burned, then she may disappear. Becomes an element of fear. What happens if it's stolen? Because we know that wheat is valuable. If it's a novel, a new form of wheat that can survive in harsher conditions, that's extremely valuable. If people know about it, they might steal it. What happens if someone steals it? Does it go with them? Does she go with them? Unknown. But the fact that we're bringing that up so early makes me think that we're going to find out at some point. Very interesting. The interactions that the two of them have here in the room when their clothes are dirty are very cute, and a little bit take away from what I said in the last episode about Hollow not being sexualized, because there are elements of that here. I guess you could say that in their first interaction, Kraft was so overwhelmed by the appearance of a nude wolf girl in his cart that, like, that wasn't even a concern. And now that they've been traveling for a little while, he's realizing that, oh shit, there's a beautiful naked girl with cute ears and a tail. So there's a little bit of that here, but it's mostly played for comedy, and she's aware of it. There's one scene where she looks up at him. Oh yeah, here. Yeah. And is having fun messing with him. It's really quite great. This line I didn't quite understand. Such a burn would be proof of who I am. So she's saying that a mark like that would also be a trail, but more than that, it would be just a part of me. And it's also an acceptance of self in a way. You could see, I can see, for example, this is just an out there example, uh, a young teenage girl who, say, has a birthmark on their face might hear this and go, "This is part of me. I own it." That's interesting. It's a simple sentiment and not one that resonates personally with me, but I could see somebody falling in love with this character because of this statement and what it means to them. And that's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. We also have the difference between Hollow and the other wife of the merchant. She's paying careful attention to everything that's going on, while the wife nods off. Very interesting. We're also setting up contacts and connections all over the place. Lorenzo and wherever he said, the place with Yorend, the tavern in it. Potatoes with goat cheese. That sounds really good, actually. A little bit of tang in there. Yeah. The oddness of eating human food as a human. Yeah, can you tell me about his story? It was a lie. But what's interesting is the way that they address that is... And also, I really, really love the line... What the lie isn't important. What's important is why the lie was said. What's the reason for the lie? Because that's where the value is. Why did the person feel like they needed to lie? Just to make a profit? Just to make money off of you? Just greed? Or is it something more? Who knows? It depends on every circumstance. And then the way that Kraft takes it is, if it is a lie, then someone is up to something. And if I investigate and figure out why they're up to something and what they're up to, I can make profit off of that. Because it's a lie is a business. A lie is an exchange of information, and it's one with a risk. Because if you're found out in the lie, the most valuable thing in your business, your trust, is forfeit. So there must be something of equal or greater value. Must be some value in that lie. And finding out what that is, if you can suss it out, that becomes an opportunity for your own profit. Very interesting. Already there's an intriguing depth to the writing. So why was she speaking to the priest? It's unknown. We don't get to find out. And this brings us into a conversation about the church and creation. It's rather irreverent, and I quite like it. I quite like it. We have what is essentially a deity of the land, a pagan deity, talking about the ridiculousness of believing that everything was created by one all-powerful being, without in any way going into actual arguments against faith. It's very interesting. So we do as we said we would, and we go along with Zeren, whatever. And then we have time is money. And two different sets of perspectives on the way that farmers manage their time, because they are careful with their time, but they don't view it that way. They live as a part of the land, a part of the seasons, a part of dawn, a part of dusk. They harvest when the harvest is come. Interesting. But there's the other element of the statement, time is money, which is just inevitably true, which is that the way to succeed in this world is to exchange your time for the promise of future gain. You have to trust in the future. It's all about an exchange. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All in all, this was a very interesting episode with some knockout lines from Hollow. And some interesting conversations. I quite like it. Quite like it. Anyway, I think that's gonna wrap us for the day. So, I've been Teeaboo. This has been the first 2 episodes of Spice and Wolf. Thank you if you're planning on joining me on this journey. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And I hope to catch you next week in the next couple episodes. We'll probably I think 2 is probably a good way to go for this show, barring cliffhangers that I absolutely need to know the answer to. But I think 2 episodes per. Most of the episodes have been either self-contained stories or just series of. Well, most of the episodes we've only seen 2. They've been self-contained stories or the character introduction or little series of vignettes. So there doesn't seem to be much of an ongoing like specific story, at least not yet. It may be just too early to introduce that. In any case, I've been Teeaboo. This has been Spice and Wolf. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I hope to catch you next week in the next reaction. See you there. Peace.